Paradise Highway is quite the interesting little film in that it deals with some really heavy subject matter. What was it about the film, though, that really drew you to the project?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something that was really amazing about the script, was that there was a beautiful human element to these characters and to the story. And it didn't feel like it was just like a chore to get through or that it was too difficult. But instead, there was also a lightness and beauty to these moments. Our main characters, played by Juliette Binoche and Hala Finley, have this wonderful dynamic between this woman who's a truck driver and this young girl. And that dynamic of this heaviness and this interest mixed with this humanity was also reflected in my character, who is a young FBI agent, and Morgan Freeman, who is a retired FBI agent, who are on the road together trying to pursue the former two characters. So when I was reading it, even though this script is about human trafficking and sexual slavery, which are very difficult subjects, it didn't feel like it was a chore. Instead, it felt like every page was just flying by, and I just really needed to know what happened and how this story was going to resolve and where it was going to go.
So since you mentioned the human element of this film, what was it like getting to the heart of your character, who is, this fresh face to this really dark world?
Yeah, I think that my character, he's a recent graduate from Yale who is working a desk job at the FBI and requests to get field experience. And so he gets thrown into this world that he's extremely unfamiliar with. And frankly, I don't think that he's fully prepared for. I'm not sure any person is fully prepared for it before they get into it. And in many ways, I think that he is acting as a access point for the audience. He's someone that he's a little unfamiliar with this world and is going to make some mistakes along the way. And I think that there's something that is relatable about that. Morgan Freeman's character is old hat at this. He's been doing it for over 50 years, and he doesn't necessarily play by the rules anymore. And he has enough seniority that he's able to get away with it. And Finley is the person who's kind of questioning whether or not that's always the right decision to make. There's a little bit of friction between these two characters, and I think that that's kind of a interesting dynamic, for someone who is maybe a bit more new school and has some different thoughts about this than what his character does. There's something both funny about it and also worth exploring, I think.
So since you mentioned their dynamic and their bit of friction, what was it like for you getting to develop that with Morgan off camera before bringing it into each scene?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be shocked to say that Morgan Freeman is an absolute professional, and he lives up to your expectation of his preparation and his presence within the scenes. He always had a question. He always had a question about motivation. Why are we doing this? Why are we saying this? Where are we going? What do we want? And he was always making sure that these scenes were airtight. He would pull our director, Anna Guzzo, to the side and, as well as anyone who was in the scene, and we would discuss it while we were doing the prior scene. So a lot of the time, Morgan and I would be running lines for the next scene while we were doing the previous scene and just trying to figure out what it is, which is also a realistic element of, you're working with a tight schedule and a tight budget, making sure that you stay on track. And he was very good about keeping everyone on track. And we usually had these scenes figured out in such a way that when we actually shot each angle, we would be doing one take, maybe two, and we would get it and then we would move on. And there's something kind of magical about that, of just like, whatever it is, it will be. And, being able to let go of that, I think is something that I learned along the way. And yeah, it was a very interesting and wonderful experience.
That's always amazing to hear, to have that you get to have that. I'm curious though, as a DC fan myself, did you and Morgan talk at all about your shared Batman experience while on set?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been able to pick his brain about anything Batman related. You know, it's so funny, like a project like this, because you're on such a tight schedule, so much of the time you don't really get any time to chew the fat and just be able to like hang out really. It was a very lean schedule is what I will say. And so much of the time I would be in the car with him, and he would start telling a story, be like, well, on Driving Miss Daisy, it was like this. And I would lean in and be like, yes. And then over the radio, we would have, all right, we're ready. And I'd be like, wait. Let's just finish the story out before we go. Come on. So much of the time I would hear the first half of a story and I would have to like get him going later to be like, yep, I gotta learn about this. This is amazing. And kudos to him. He was always so willing and open to talk about his work. It's really admirable to see someone who has been doing it for as long as him, and also he still has a passion and respect for it. He liked telling stories about his work, and I mean, I guess I would too if I've done as many amazing things as what he has.
Well, and you're no slouch yourself when it comes to your filmography. You've got quite the awesome roster of projects as well. And speaking of, before we go, I do want to ask about Star Wars. Obviously, we've got you coming back for the second game, but, has there been any talk or word or interest from yourself about possibly crossing over into the live action field?
Well, of course, there's interest. That's about all I can say.
You know what? That's fair. That's really all anybody involved in that world can say. But as long as you're interested, then we all are as well.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the questions I really had, Cameron. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I really do appreciate it.